We have economics, paper 2. Paper 1 is done. So we're going to paper 2. Question 1, October 2019. The first question says, the short-run Phillips curve illustrates a possible trade-off between what? It said it's inflation and unemployment. Okay. Why is it not? Why? Okay. Can you explain short-run Phillips curve for me?
The short-run Phillips curve shows an inverse relationship between inflation and unemployment.
So what does that mean? Okay.
Meaning that when unemployment falls, inflation tends to rise and vice versa.
So low inflation rate brings about high unemployment rate. Is that what?
Low inflation, high employment, yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
And high inflation brings about what?
Low unemployment.
Low unemployment.
High inflation, low unemployment.
Yes. So with low inflation, it simply means there's a lot of people without job, right?
Yes.
And with high inflation, it means a lot of people has job.
Employed, yes.
Employed. So the short-run Phillips curve shows a possible trade-off between inflation and unemployment. So the answer is B.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
The other option.
Yeah, the other options, tell me.
A, C, and D are not related to the Phillips curve. All of them.
They are related to macroeconomic objectives, right? Great. So economic growth, income inequality, economic growth and income inequality, economic growth and protection of the environment, inflation and income inequality are all macroeconomic objectives. Yes or no? Good. So we have question 1 to be B, because it talks about the short-run Phillips curve. And for Phillips curve, it's about the trade-off between inflation and unemployment. High inflation rates bring about low unemployment, and low inflation rates bring about high unemployment rates. And the other options here, A, C, and D, are all about macroeconomic objective. So we'll go to question 2. For question 2, they said, Ghana's rate of economic growth increased from 3.6% in 2016 to 8.5% in 2017. Which one of the following is the likely result of this increase in the rate of economic growth? What's economic growth anyway?
Economic growth is when there's a positive output gap for more than 2 consecutive quarters in the economy.
That's economic growth. Okay. Well, just tell me economic growth simply means an increase in the country's output. And don't take it to recession, please.
Okay.
All right. So, what will bring about an increase in the rate of economic growth? An increase in unemployment.
Let me make my explanation. Higher economic growth means that the country is producing more goods and services. This usually leads to higher incomes, more employment, better standards of living. So option C is correct. Options A, B, and D are the opposite of what typically happens.
So tell me, why is an increase in unemployment? Why will an increase in unemployment would not lead?
It means when there's like higher unemployment,
okay,
it means that the economy is, let's say, it's lacking productivity. There's less productivity. There's less output per worker in the economy, which is usually related to recession rather than growth.
Well, I would have loved you to talk to me I would have loved you to tell me about economic growth, linking it to PPC, because here they said, and I said, why will an increase in unemployment not bring about economic growth? Then you should have just come back to tell me about the PPC, the production possibility curve, or the production possibility frontier, because it means if there's high unemployment rate, it means the economy is operating inside the PPF, like let's say X here. And the economy is supposed to operate on the boundary, like these boundaries, where the economy is the country is supposed to be operating. So unemployment simply means that the economy is inside the PPF. That means there are unemployed resources. And that will not bring about economic growth. That's the first one. So an increase in unemployment would not increase output. And if output is not increasing, then we can't talk about economic growth. B, a decrease in investment. What is investment itself?
Investment is,
Hmm.
you want the definition?
Yes, please.
Investment is, it's like the purchase of goods that are not consumed today and used to create future wealth.
Investment. Investment simply means the expenditure on capital goods. That is
Yeah.
investment, okay? That means you are spending on capital goods. And if you are spending on capital goods, it means
It's spending by firms on capital goods like machinery and all that,
yes.
which help to produce more goods in the future.
So a decrease in investment, it's not possible to increase economic growth. An increase in investment, will that increase economic growth?
An increase in investment, it would lead to economic growth.
Okay. And C, which is your answer? They said, which one of the following is likely to result? Okay, now, an increase in living standards. Why is it the answer?
But better because when there's economic growth, there's better living standards for the population.
I see. And a decrease in tax revenue.
Decrease in tax revenue means that people are making less income, so they're taxed less, which means that the economy is in recession.
Because economic growth will bring about an increase in tax revenue.
Because there's an increase in real income.
Real income and profit for
firms or revenue.
So that means tax revenue would have increased on income and through income and profit, right? So that's about that. So we've talked about the Phillips curve, which has a relationship or a trade-off between inflation and unemployment. High inflation, low unemployment. Low inflation, high unemployment. And here we talked about economic growth, which means the country's output is increasing. And using the PPF, it means the country is operating inside the PPF. If it is an increase in unemployment, that means there are unemployed resources. So that's about Phillips curve and economic growth, which is simply talking about unemployment and economic growth. That's number 1 and 2. So question 2 is C, right? Good. Question 2. Question 2, C. Go to question 3. I'll be right back, please. Question 3, they said the UK government
Yes, spending
is spending 56 billion pounds on building HS2, a high-speed railway network. Which one of the following is also an injection into the circular flow of income? What's circular flow of income?
The circular flow of it's a diagram showing the relationship between the injections and withdrawals in the economy.
Okay, how money comes in or out of the economy, okay?
And the circular flow of income injections are flows into the economy, which increase the total spending and income.
Okay, so option A, increased spending on imports. Is that injection or withdrawals?
Yes, well, these injections are investment, government spending, and exports.
That's injection. But it could be withdrawals too, because if they reduce, that's withdrawal. Okay. So let's take it on at this time. Increased spending on import. Increased spending on import.
That's withdrawals.
Withdrawals.
Leakages.
Okay. What about decreased spending on imports?
Injection.
Injection, great. Increased spending on exports.
Increased spending on exports is the right answer.
Which means there's injections. So injection. What about if export reduces?
That's withdrawal.
Good. Increased level of savings.
Saving is a withdrawal.
Savings are withdrawal, okay. Increased income tax receipts.
Increased income tax.
That's increase in taxation.
Increase in taxation is withdrawal because you take income from the...
You're not able to spend. Okay. So the answer for question 3 is B. So that's about injection and withdrawals. Injection, inflow of income, and withdrawals, outflow based on spending, which are importation. What else is outflow? What else is withdrawal? Importation, taxation, or what else? Importation, taxation, saving. That's also withdrawal, right? Okay. So that's question 3 done. So the answer for question 3 is B. Question 3B. Question 4. Are you there?
Yeah.
For question 4, they said, so in 2017, the fall in mining and manufacturing production led to the Brazilian economy operating below its productive potential. Which one of the following is most likely to be associated with a negative output gap? Negative output gap means what?
This economy is producing below its potential.
Capacity, okay? So high unemployment rate means negative output gap. Why?
So actual GDP is less than potential GDP.
Okay. So when there's high
This
unemployment,
happens during a recession or a slowdown, leading to high unemployment, spare capacity in the economy, and low inflationary pressures.
Okay. But now I'm asking, high unemployment rate, what does that mean?
High unemployment rate, it means that the number of people that are seeking and willing to work are not able to land jobs.
That's high unemployment. That means unemployed resources, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Unused labor, basically.
Yeah, okay. So high business confidence, that should be positive output gap. An increase in house prices, that's a positive wealth effect.
High business confidence.
An increase in well-being, living standard, that's also a positive. It will be
output gap.
they are all about positive output gap. Question 4, it's A. Question 4, A. Go to question 5, right? Okay. We go to question 5. It said, the diagram shows aggregate supply and aggregate demand for an economy. Which one of the following was the most likely cause of a change from AD to AD2, AD to AD1? So what kind of graph is this?
This is a Keynesian long run aggregate supply graph.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me, what did they say about unemployment here? They said, no, they said,
sorry, we're in question 5, right?
yeah.
Okay.
So they said, which one of the following is most likely cause the change from AD to AD1? A decrease in government spending.
Okay, so let's just analyze the graph. In the diagram, aggregate demand shifts rightward from AD to AD1,
Okay.
leading to higher real output,
Okay.
higher price level. This indicates an increase in aggregate demand.
Okay.
Because aggregate demand can increase if any of its components, C plus I plus G plus X minus M, rises.
Okay. So a decrease in government spending would not.
It would reduce aggregate demand.
Okay. That's why it's not A. An increase in interest rate.
Same reason it would reduce aggregate demand. It's a contraction.
A decrease in net exports.
It's also a contraction.
So what does that simply mean? When there's a decrease in net export, it means what?
It means that the aggregate demand falls. Or like
what does that mean? A decrease in net exports.
A decrease in net exports means that the country is no longer it's not selling as much abroad to foreign businesses as it used foreign customers as it used to.
An increase in consumption.
It would bring about a
rightward shift in the AD.
An increase in consumption, which raises aggregate demand.
So like you said earlier, so an increase in any of the components of aggregate demand would bring about a rightward shift in the AD curve from AD1, from AD to AD1. Okay. Okay. So for question 5, a shift from AD to AD1 is as a result of an increase in consumption. That's what our answer is, right? Because any increase in any of the components of an increase in any of the components of aggregate demand will bring about a rightward shift in the AD curve from AD to AD1. Clear, right?
Yeah.
So go to question. So question 5 is
D.
D. Go to question 6. They said the chart shows a government budget between quarter 3 and quarter 1 of 2018. What's a budget first?
Budget is a plan on government spending.
A financial plan. A financial plan. Let me just say a plan. I could have a plan. Everybody has plan. A financial plan on expenditure and what? Revenue.
Revenue.
Okay. So that's done. What can we deduce from this chart? He said,
In the chart, the zero line represents a balanced budget,
and what's a balanced budget? A balanced budget.
where government spending is equal to tax revenue,
What's a surplus budget?
where government spending is no, that's deficit, when tax revenue is greater than government spending.
Okay. And the budget deficit. Okay, we talked about that now, right? Okay. So what can be deduced from this chart now, please? You said there was a budget surplus in quarter 3 of 2015. In quarter 3 of 2015,
Okay, for the graph, quarter 3 of 2015 is clearly above zero, meaning the government ran a
the
budget
surplus, right?
surplus in
Okay.
that quarter.
Okay. There was a budget deficit in quarter 3 of 2013. Quarter 3 of 2013.
Wrong,
Why?
because the graph shows that it was above zero.
Quarter 3 of 2013. Let's see. It's below. Okay. Quarter 3 of 2013. Oh, it's above. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's above. So it's not a deficit of surplus, right?
Mhm.
Tax receipt exceeded government expenditure in quarter 1 of 2017. Quarter 1 of 2017.
Quarter 1 of 2017.
Why is it not the answer? Tax receipt exceeded government expenditure. What does that mean?
It means that there's a surplus.
There's an increase in government revenue. That means government revenue exceeded government expenditure, which is the same as surplus.
And the tax receipts greater than expected.
Government expenditure exceeded tax receipts. That's a deficit, right?
Mhm.
So the answer is A.
A.
Clear, right?
Yes.
We go to question 7. Are you there?
Yes.
Question 7. So go to question 7. Bosnia and Herzegovina, yeah, a country in Europe experienced high levels of unemployment. In 2013, the unemployment rate was 46%, and in 2018, it was 37%. Explain one possible effect of high rates of unemployment on the public finances of Bosnia. Unemployment rate is the total number of individuals that are willing and able to work and actively seeking for work. Unemployment rate is a percentage. It's a percentage. It's total number. Okay, number. Okay, number. But it puts percentage or it's rate, not just unemployment. So it said an increase in unemployment leads to higher demand for welfare benefits, increasing government spending, possibly leading to deterioration in the public finance. Thank you. So with increase in unemployment rate, it means unemployment benefit would increase. And that means government will be spending more than what it's going to receive because here a lot of people are unemployed. So that means government will not be getting income tax. Government will not be able to get more corporation tax because budget deficits. And that means the public finance is in deterioration. That's question 7. Great. Question 8. They said, we have the chart it shows the balance of payments on the current account for Thailand as a percentage of GDP for the period of 2010 to 2017. What's GDP? What's GDP, please?
GDP is the output, output, the total output of goods and services in an economy.
The measurement of the total output of a country's, the total output of a country, right? Over a given period of time, mostly a year. Okay, now the question says, with reference to the chart, explain the difference between current account deficit and current account surplus. What is current account?
Current account is the record of goods, services, and transfers and investments income
In the country.
Yeah.
So when it is greater, current account surplus means the value of export of goods, services, transfers, and investment income is greater than the value of import of goods, services, transfers, and investment income. That's current account surplus. And the reverse is the deficit, right? Okay, great. That's just a bonus mark. You just have to know one, then you write the other one.
It's okay.
It's not okay. It's not just okay.com. Question 9. Are you there?
Yes.
It says, since 2012, the UAE has experienced a high rate of economic growth. This has resulted in rising business confidence. There's no one possible impact of increased business confidence on the economy of the UAE. Increase of business confidence, an increase in business confidence, increase aggregate supply. Increased business confidence increases incentive to invest. Thus, increase aggregate demand and real output, reducing the output gap. In the UAE, the increase in business confidence is due to high rates of economic growth. Is it a 4 mark? 4 mark, okay. You can't even give us, at least show it by a graph. It costs you nothing. Huh?
Maybe costs effort.
And you don't want to waste your
Just maybe, mister. Think about it.
Okay, effort. Effort is not a waste, man. It only shows that you know what you are doing. Question 10. In 2017, real wages rose by 19% in the Ukraine. This led to a 7.8% increase in consumption. What is real income? Real income, please.
Real income is income adjusted to inflation.
Adjusted for inflation. So if real income increases, real wages increases by 19%, and the consumption increases by this.
Living standards increase.
They said we should draw a SRS and AD diagram to show the possible impact of this increase in consumption on the price level and real output. What will happen to the price level? It's going to
rise.
Why? Because
now
demand has increased over time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and if demand increases, it reflects on price, right?
Yep.
Okay, so the graphical representation is this. The short one, SRAS, the short one aggregate supply. Then we have the AD. Let me use AD1. We have Y and Y1. And we have P price level and price level 1. So that's the graphical representation of this situation. Y to Y1, AD to AD1, PL to PL1. So that's about question 10 done. We go to question 11. Are you there? Right back, please. So we have question 11. They said the table shows the nominal GDP and population for the USA in 2016 and 2017. The GDP, the population, and the GDP per capita is done. So here we need the GDP per capita is done for 2016. But they said using the information above, calculate the change in the GDP per capita between 2016 and 2017. We won't be able to do that without finding the GDP per capita for 2017, right? So 2017 GDP per capita is GDP divided by population, right? 19,390,600,000 divided by 0.3257. So that gives you, you did that separately, okay? That gives you 5,953,516, 53516, okay? So the change will be 59535 minus 57589.70. So 59535.16 minus 57589.70. Calculate the change in GDP per capita, okay? Give us 1945.46 in dollars. Okay, so that's answer for question 11. Go to question 12. Yeah, tell me what is GDP per capita.
It's the GDP per person.
What is nominal GDP?
Nominal.
Yeah. There's real GDP, right?
Yeah,
So what's
no,
nominal GDP?
adjusted to inflation.
Unadjusted.
Unadjusted.
Okay, I thought you said adjusted for inflation. Unadjusted for inflation, that's nominal.
Mm.
And that's GDP itself, you know?
Mm.
Okay. Okay. Question 12. It's a case study there. We'll just put on. Figure 1, okay? The economy of Argentina, sources of resource. Okay, what the place? So the first one said, define the term base rate of interest. The base rate of interest is the rate set by a country's central bank that influences the cost of borrowing and the return on saving for commercial banks and households. Base rate of interest, okay. Well, let me quickly ask you, an increase in interest rate, does it increase aggregate demand or reduce aggregate demand?
Reduces, but because people would rather save
Than spend.
than spend.
Okay. So what about an increase in interest rate? Does it increases the exchange rate or reduces the exchange rate? An increase in interest rate, does it improve or increase the exchange rate or reduce the exchange rate? Do you get my question or not? Do you get my question or not?
No.
An increase in interest rate, does it increase the exchange rate or reduce the exchange rate? Now, it is this. Or how does interest rates, what's the relationship between the interest rate and exchange rate?
Okay. So an increase in the interest rate usually like causes the exchange rate to increase.
Why?
Because higher interest rates attract foreign investors
Foreign savers, huh?
who want to earn a higher return on their savings or investments.
So an increase in interest rate attracts foreign savers.
Yeah, so to save, they must buy the country's currency,
And that
increasing the
increases the
demand.
demand for the country's currency. And an increase in demand for currency increases the value of such currency. Okay. That was done. So with reference to figure 2, recession is when, okay, with reference to figure 2, explain the term recession. Recession is where there's two consecutive quarters of negative economic growth. Argentina was in a recession between quarter 4 2015 and quarter 2 2016. Quarter 4 2015, quarter 2 2016. And that's two consecutive quarters, right? Between quarter 4 to quarter 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Question C. With reference to extract B. So here the recession is between this. Is a recession. Recession. For this country, recession is in between this quarter 2 of 2015 to quarter 4 of 2015 to quarter 2 of 2016. That's recession. When we talk about recession, it means a fall or an economic decline for 2 consecutive quarters. That is recession. So go on. We have question C. So with reference to extract B, okay? Extract B, okay? With reference to extract B, analyze one possible impact of the fall in the value of the peso on Argentina's current account on the balance of payment. What's balance of payment? BOP. What's balance of payment? Balance of payment.
Balance of payment is the it's balance of payments is the it's like a record of like the economic transactions
With the rest of the world.
between like residents of the country and the rest of the world. Yeah.
Okay. That's balance of payment. Oh, wow.
It's like all inflows and outflows.
Yeah. So they said with reference to this extract, analyze one possible impact of the fall in the value of the peso on Argentina's current account balance of payments. There's a fall in the value of the peso. So since coming out of recession in 2016, economic growth in Argentina has stabilized at an annual rate of around 2% per year. However, high inflation is still a major problem. Inflation was 25%. That's high because the standard inflation rate should be what? What's the standard rate of inflation? What's the standard rate of inflation?
Standard rate of inflation is the
What value, what figure do you think the standard rate of inflation is?
it's 2%.
2.5. Around 2.5. They tried. So, the effect of this inflation is damaging to both households and businesses. Rising prices have reduced domestic business investment as firms are unsure about future cost, loss of confidence, and one of the Argentine government's key economic policies is to stabilize prices to encourage consumption and investments. And that's one of the macroeconomic objectives anyway. A fall in the value of the peso against the dollar also caused inflationary pressure. In 2018, the peso lost around 12% of its value against the dollar. And this makes importing goods from US very expensive because the exchange rate has fallen. A fall in exchange rate bring about an increase in the value of imports, right? That's what they're saying there, okay? I think that there was a decrease in the value of commodity exports, causing a current account deficit. Why is there a decrease in the value of commodity exports? That means because as soon as the peso value reduces, it is expected that export value rises. Or maybe export value is rising, but because the currency is falling, or probably because they are not producing quality products. I don't know. Let's see anyway. Now, attempt to reduce the rate of inflation and to stabilize the currency, the central bank Argentina increased the base rate of interest. We said it earlier. To increase the value of a country's currency, you have to increase the exchange rate. Yes or no?
Yes.
And if you are increasing the exchange rate, It simply means export value rises. There's always going to be a trade-off in any economic decision anyway. However, decision is not all bad. Real wages are rising in many sectors and consumer spending is increasing. Also, the government plans to spend 14 billion on infrastructure. These positive changes have helped Argentina to attract investment from Japanese transport companies such as Mitsubishi and Marubeni Corp and the American technology company Apple. Government policies are changing and government instrument policy are being used. Okay, now the question says, with reference to everything we've read now, analyze the possible impact on the fall of the value of the peso. The exchange rate is the external value of the currency. The current account, no, you don't just, the exchange rate is the external value of the currency. With what? In respect to the rest of the other currency, in respect to other countries' currency. It doesn't end here because you have to compare it. The current account measures the total value of export and import minus import, okay? The fall in the value of peso makes imports more expensive. This may lead to a fall in consumption of import, improving the current account balance. Demand for certain export is inelastic, causing a decrease in the current account. No, he said the demand, or if the demand. There should be if, they're not demand. If the demand for certain good export are inelastic, causing a decrease in the current account. If the demand for certain export is inelastic. Yeah. Is that what you could tell me about a fall in the value? One positive impact anyway. It's okay, it's fine. So that's about C. We'll go to D. With the same information provided, examine the likely impact of inflation on the economy of Argentina. Inflation is a persistent rise in the price of goods and services in an economy. Inflation remains the main issue in Argentina. Why? Because it's 25%. You should name it, please. That's figure and fact. It's a positive statement anyway, so we should put figures to back it up. And inflation reduces investment as firms are unsure of future price level, reducing incentive to invest, reducing aggregate demand. Okay. So we mentioned the economy through aggregate demand, yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Because aggregate demand will tell us how the GDP is going. So negatively impact those on a fixed income, as incomes don't rise with inflation, reducing standard of living. There's a negative impact. But have you forgotten that employees might ask for wage increase, indexation? Did you talk about that here?
No, indexation, no.
So negatively impacts standard of living. If income increases at the same rate of inflation, then the standard of living would remain constant. The government has cut spending, reducing AD, which is likely to reduce the negative impact of inflation. It's a 8 marker though. But there's still much you could talk about. Yeah, the impact on aggregate demand might not be felt, or it's okay, reduce negative impact. Because government is cutting spending, and if government cuts spending, it simply means people will not be able to spend. If government is cutting spending, that's subsidy. If government cuts subsidy, aggregate demand would fall, right? And consumption will fall. That could bring about reduction in demand pull inflation. Demand pull inflation. Demand pull inflation. Okay, that's done. Yeah. Go to question E. Extract A and B is used here. extract A and B. Extract A and B. What do I got? Extract A and B. So using the extract, discuss policies that the Argentine government could use to increase consumption. So what are the policies you mentioned here? You just said consumption is total house expenditure. Consumption is total house expenditure in the economy. What's that, please? Consumption is the total house expenditure.
Household expenditure.
Consumption is total household expenditure in the economy, okay? Subsidy. You don't just get into subsidy. What policy is that? Fiscal. You just said subsidy. They said
So
discuss.
I should say an example of fiscal
Yeah,
policy.
fiscal policy. Then example is subsidy. Subsidy reduce costs for businesses so they will respond with lower prices. Okay. Further increasing government spending. Consumers' confidence encouraging more consumption. Okay. So government spending on infrastructure could increase employment, increasing incomes and consumption. Government spending on infrastructure could increase employment, increase income and consumption. Why can't you think about government spending on infrastructure attracting multinationals?
I can, but I couldn't.
You can, but you couldn't. Wow. Our consumer confidence, and since you can, but you couldn't, we'll see it how you get the full mark.
I know.
However, consumer confidence may remain low due to high inflation. If high inflation, if interest rates don't change, consumers may decide to save their income. Spending on infrastructure may only increase employment level by a small amount. Will it?
Depends on the magnitude.
Yes, but why do you say may only increase? And 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's a lot you could say about consumption here. If employment increases, what happens? If income increases, what happens? If consumption increases, what happens? It doesn't end here. You're supposed to tell us the impact of those things. You mentioned these items, then what are the impacts on the Argentine economy? That's what they said. Or employment increases, increasing income and consumption. Okay. So how does income increase? Because the purchasing power is increasing. And spending on infrastructure is the ideal way to attract foreign direct investment and multinationals. And when multinationals come into Argentina, it increases employment opportunity. It increases technological use of, technology advancement. It also increases GDP of Argentina. And all these things will reflect in the GDP per capita. So you talked about everything, but
Not enough.
yeah, nothing of you are supposed to even talk. The GDP per capita of Argentina, the GDP per capita is still part of consumption. About 6, 8. Finally, I'm able to take some of my things.
How much? 6?
Yes. Oh, it was supposed to be 6, right?
No,
And
I
I
thought
just
you
said
said 6.
no, I thought you said it's supposed to be 6. All right. Don't mind, I'm too
Delusional.
good and I'm too, how do I call it? I'm generous, I'm generous. It's okay, we'll move on. So question 13 now.
13.
Question 13, yes.
No, did I do 13 or 14?
13. Is it 13 in your exams or 14? 13.
I don't know, I forgot. No, I did 14. I started with question with the 20 mark question occurred.
That's a good idea though. Because it saves you time. to really come back to those ones. The question 13, 14 is an open-ended question. It's just for you to think about what you know. And the rest, you have to think more. But this one, you already know what you want to do, what you want to talk about. So you have that time to do that. And it gives you more time to think about others. So go to question 13.
Plus, it's the section with the most marks.
Yeah, that's the section with the most marks. Aside question 12,
Yeah.
which is 14, right? So we'll go to question 14. No, 13. Yeah, you did 13. Productivity in France and Germany was significantly higher than in the UK between 2007 and 2016. Evaluate the importance of productivity for the rate of economic growth in a country. Productivity measures the efficiency of production. That is output divided by inputs. Did you write the definition now? It's a waste of time, I get. Usually measured as output per worker. Okay. High productivity increases the productive capacity of the economy, causing economic growth. I like that. High level of productivity causes increased incentives for firms to invest, as that will allow them to make more revenue and profit. Here is just one mark here for you. Higher productivity is likely to increase company profit. Oh, okay. And increase tax revenue, leading to more government spending and potential multiplier effects. I like that. Then we have a long run aggregate supply. Okay. So long aggregate supply will shift rightward, LRS to LRS1. The real output will increase, Y1 to Y2. Price level would rise from P1 to P2. Aggregate demand will also rise, from AD to AD2. AD1. Why are you writing AD? How are you writing AD, AD2, AD? Use 1 and 2, and let's know you are using 1. P to P2, P1 to P2, Y1 to Y2, AD1 to AD2, LRAS1 to LRAS2, or P to P1, Y to Y1, AD to AD1, LRAS to LRAS1, please. Like that, though. Then we have investment by business is based upon confidence, not productivity. Now, are you saying productivity is not really part of investment?
No.
Part of the reason why firms might want to invest? If productivity is increasing, it's an incentive for them to increase. You could tell me that there are other factors. Just tell me that there are other factors that could increase investment, like confidence, like business confidence, economic growth, or boom, economic growth. Potential growth is influenced. Potential growth is influenced by, not influencing, influenced by productivity, whereas actual growth occurs as a result of an increase in ADS. Other methods may be better in achieving economic growth, such as what? Other methods such as
other methods of
productivity in
economic
excess
growth.
vehicle. Other methods like what? Other methods like, aside productivity, what other methods will bring about economic growth?
Investment in physical capital and human capital,
What about human capital? Okay.
technological progress,
Technological advancements,
improving like trading globalization.
exports.
Yeah.
What else? Okay. So these things can also bring about
Yeah.
economic growth. So let's see. 4, 6, 10, 12, 14.
16.
No, this is continuation to here. That was what I was asking about profit.
So 3 marks.
No, it's 2 here.
And the graph is 3 marks.
No, 2 marks for graph. How
Let's
can it be 3?
inflation.
Yeah, it's 2 marks. How can it be 3? For who is going to give you that? 2, 4, 6. All of this. Wow. That means I'm getting a new one soon.